Hello, everyone. The topic today is physical and chemical properties. Physical property is characteristic you can observe without changing the identity of the substance. It is a characteristic you can observe without changing the identity of the substance. This means we do not have to perform any experiment to observe physical property. Physical properties of matter include color, texture, shape, size, malleability. What is malleable means it has the ability to be formed into thin sheets without breaking, like aluminum foil. Ductility can be drawn into wires like copper wire. Density, which is mass per unit volume. Melting point, boiling point, hardness, solubility. Looking at these properties, you can clearly see that we can observe them the way they are without changing the identity of the substance. Let's put this into practice. Let's look at the physical properties of this object in the here in this image. We can look at the color, we can look at the shape, we can look at the density, the texture. Okay, so describing those means that we are getting their physical properties, the physical properties of this image, object in the image. So we start with the color. They are multicolor. There are different colors, you can describe them. And then how do you describe the shape? It's round. Can you say anything about the density? It's floating in water. This is floating. So we can say it's less dense than water. Then texture, it is smooth. Okay. So we've just put this in practice of how to find the physical properties. Then what about chemical properties? Chemical properties describe how a substance interacts or reacts with other substances. How a substance interacts or reacts with other substances. So it's more like behavior of a particular substance. So for example, iron, of iron to rust. Ability of iron to rust. Let's say you have an iron, something made of iron at your backyard when it rains, it's outside, and then it's exposed to air. And after some time, you notice that the oxygen in the air will interact with that iron and will rust. Okay, so that ability of iron to rust is a chemical property. Now, let's look at a video. With this video, we can have a better understanding, or rather, before we get the video, let's look at the chemical properties. Chemical properties include reactivity, which is the ability of matter to react chemically with other substances. For example, reacts with vinegar to produce new substance. Okay. Flammability is the ability of matter to burn. We can also say combustibility also talks about ability to burn. Ability to rust reacts with oxygen to produce rust. Like iron can react with oxygen to produce rust. Okay. Now we can then look and be able to watch a video where there's more examples and how this happens. In that way, you'll be able to differentiate between physical properties and chemical properties.
Physical properties of matter include melting point, boiling point, color, density, magnetism, crystalline shape, malleability, ductility, luster, and refractive index. The physical properties of matter can be observed without any change in the matter's chemical composition. Chemical properties, on the other hand, can be observed only when matter undergoes a chemical change. Here are some examples of chemical properties. Hydrogen peroxide decomposes easily into oxygen gas and water. Iron reacts with oxygen to form iron oxide. Sodium metal reacts with water to give off hydrogen gas. Sodium hydrogen carbonate, baking soda, reacts with acid to give off carbon dioxide gas. Lead nitrate reacts with potassium iodide to form a yellow precipitate of lead iodide. Red phosphorus can undergo combustion in air.
Okay, hopefully you're able to differentiate between the chemical and physical properties. But let's look at one of the chemical properties, reactivity. Let's see what that means. Let's explore this property of reactivity. Okay, the chart below shows the reactivity of several different metals. The metals range from very reactive to very unreactive. Study the chart and then answer the questions below. So this chart is showing you only metals, and we are showing the concept of reactivity as a chemical property. So this portion are the metals that react with water. The whole of this react with acids. The whole of this react with oxygen. Then it tells you this is very reactive, this is very unreactive. Pause the video and answer these questions. Pause the video and answer the questions. Hopefully, you got it right. Can you check if your answer if you got the correct answer? Let me help you with the number 5, okay? Number 5 is, which of the following metals react with oxygen and acids, but is not very reactive with water? Calcium, magnesium, copper. Let's start with which one is not very reactive with water. Calcium is reactive with water. So the answer cannot be calcium. You say which one is not very reactive with water. Then you look at copper. It's not very reactive with water, so it cannot be. So the answer here is magnesium. Magnesium is the correct answer. Then let's look at this practice question. Why is density not a chemical property? Based on what you've learned even from the video and my teaching so far, why is density not a chemical property? Pause the video and get your answer. Why is density? Pause the video and get your answer. Here is the answer. Why is density not a chemical property? Density is the measure of the mass of a substance divided by its volume. It's a measurable property that does not change the identity of the substance when determining it. No experiment carried out for you to know density. Okay? No experiment carried out. In terms of experiment that involve the changing of the identity. Okay? There's no change in the identity of the substance for us to know the density. That's what that means. Now, this is your practice question. Identify the following as a chemical or physical property. So in this space, you say P or C. P is physical property, C is chemical property. Pause the video. Now you're applying all you learned. If you get this right, it means you really understood it. Here we go. Check. Did you get this right? If you got it right, that means you understood the physical and chemical property. Thanks for watching.